I'd like to call the Ramsey County Board of Commissioners meeting to order. Our board chair, Commissioner Ortega, is on an excused absence today, and I will be chairing the meeting then as vice chair of the board. I first of all want to say that we're having some technical issues this morning. So for those of you watching online, you'll notice the banner indicating Ramsey County Regional Rail Authority meeting. But I want to clarify that we will be having our regular Board of Commissioners meeting first. So with that is this meeting that you're listening to right now. And then that will be followed by the Regional Rail Authority meeting. So thank you for your understanding. And with that, I want to wish you all a good morning. And I've called us to order, and we'll have the roll call.
Jabin Singh.
Here.
McGuire.
Here.
McMurtry is excused. Miller.
Here.
Moran.
Here.
Zhang.
Here.
And Ortega is excused.
Thank you very much, and we'll stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. And now we will have the land acknowledgement by Commissioner Jabin Singh. Thank you.
Every community owes its existence and vitality to generations from around the world who contributed their hopes, dreams, and energy to making the history that led to this moment. Some were brought here against their will, some were drawn to leave their distant homes in hope of a better life, and some have lived on this land since time immemorial. Truth and acknowledgement are critical to building mutual respect and connection across all barriers of heritage and difference. We are standing on the ancestral lands of the Dakota people. We want to acknowledge the Ojibwe, the Ho-Chunk, and the other nations of people who also called this place home. We pay respects to their elders, past and present. Please take a moment to consider the treaties made by the tribal nations that entitle non-native people to live and work on traditional native lands. Consider the many legacies of violence, displacement, migration, and settlement that bring us together here today. And please join us in uncovering such truths at any and all public events.
Thank you so much. I will now entertain a motion for approval of our agenda for today, August 26th, 2025.
So moved.
Thank you. It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Oh, no, you do the vote. Yeah, we do a roll call.
Jabin Singh.
Aye.
McGuire.
Aye.
McMurtry is excused. Miller.
Aye.
Moran.
Aye.
Zhang.
Aye.
And Ortega is excused.
Thank you so much. I will now ask for a motion to approve the minutes from August 19th, 2025.
So moved. Second.
It's been moved and seconded. We'll ask for a roll call.
Jabin Singh.
Aye.
McGuire.
Aye.
McMurtry is excused. Miller.
Aye.
Moran.
Aye.
Zhang.
Aye.
And Ortega is excused.
Thank you very much. I will now turn it over to Commissioner Jabin Singh to move our administrative agenda.
Yes. I move the following administrative items. Number 3, sanitary sewer pipeline right of entry agreement with the Metropolitan Council for access to Grass Lake section of Vadnais Snail Lakes Regional Park. Item number 4, the Rice Creek Commons Public Road right-of-way dedication, and I'm going to pull that one.
Okay.
And then number 5, agreement with Independent School District 622 for election services.
Thank you very much. These are items number 3 and 5 then. Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, I'll ask for a roll call.
Jabin Singh.
Aye.
McGuire.
Aye.
McMurtry is excused. Miller.
Aye.
Moran.
Aye.
Zhang.
Aye.
And Ortega is excused.
Thank you. And now, Commissioner Jabin Singh, if you want to move.
Yes, I just wanted to just make note that while this is a fairly administrative procedural item, it is one of the steps towards our responsibilities to establishing the public infrastructure for the future development of Rice Creek Commons. Our goal is to have a completed spine road design by January of 2026 so that we are ready for construction anytime after that point forward. So again, continuing to move forward as we can, preparing that area for development.
And it is Very exciting. Thank you, Commissioner Jebin Singh. I serve on the Joint Development Authority for Rice Creek Commons, and there's a lot of really good work being done, and I want to thank you for your leadership and work in that area and everyone that's involved with that. So this is another great step forward, so thank you. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Can we get a second?
Oh, we need a second. Ooh, thank you. Thank you, Commissioner Miller. Hearing no further discussion, roll call, please.
Jebin Singh,
Aye.
McGuire,
Aye.
McMurtry is excused, Miller,
Aye.
Moran,
Aye.
Zhang,
Aye.
and Ortega is excused.
Thank you. And now I will turn it over to our county manager for County Connections.
Yeah, thank you, Madam
County
Chair.
Manager Becker.
Good morning, everyone. So I'm pleased to inform everybody that after following getting assurances from the City of St. Paul that critical remediation actions were completed, the county restored connection to email between the city and county yesterday morning after the City of St. Paul's digital security incident. We really want to thank a lot of our staff for all their patience and cooperation and flexibility through that time. I know we work really closely with city staff, and we had to create several workarounds in order to get work done, but I'm really grateful for staff for being able to do that. Special thanks to all our teams in Information Services, the Emergency Communications Center, Emergency Management and Homeland Security, and Communications and Public Records in particular throughout that our whole emergency response. Secondly, I wanted to just acknowledge that for those employees who are members of Blue Cross and Blue Shield, there's a really great new service that's available under our health plan. It's called Dispatch Health. And Ramsey County employees and their dependents who are enrolled in our plan can now get treatment for complex medical issues that are often addressed in the ER. Available year-round at your current location of where the patient's at, rather than having to go into the ER. So you can make an appointment. There's going to be flyers that are going to be sent to all our Blue Cross and Blue Shield members. There's something also on RamseyNet about it as well. So a little more different ways to receive health care from our healthcare provider. And then I just wanted to note that next week on September 2nd, we will be kicking off our board budget process for 26-27. As a result of it being the first day of school, the board chair has decided to start the meeting at 9:30 next Tuesday instead of 9 a.m., which is our typical start. On that day, the board will get a chance to hear two presentations in the morning. The first one will be at 9:30 when I will present the county manager proposed budget to the Board of Commissioners. And then after that, we will be having a board workshop where the county auditor, Tracy West, will share about the projected property tax impacts of levy changes being proposed. And so I just wanted to make sure that I had a chance to make people aware of that, especially the 9:30 start of that board meeting. In terms of next steps after next Tuesday, presentations from service teams on their budgets have been scheduled between September 15th and September 22nd. And those meetings will provide a deeper dive into the proposed budget for each service team. And all the information about those hearings and our budget can be found at www.ramseycounty.us/budget. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you so much. And with that, we are now going to have our outside board and committee reports. And I'm going to start with Commissioner Zhang. Good, and then we'll go around.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I serve as a member of the Transportation Advisory Board with the Met Council. I have been working on a subcommittee, and this is the Active Transportation Working Group. This group is charged with figuring out parts of the program for new funding stream from the state that will fund active transportation projects, or so like think about like bike parks, trails for walking, and making it safer for active transit users. A lot of the conversations stemmed around both following the charge of the state statute, as well as whether or not there will be a match requirement. From the conversations, there didn't seem to be a big, strong push for a match requirement similar to the federal program, understanding that the federal program is limited if it requires for a 20% match from communities. So the conversation around, making it more accessible for smaller communities to be able to apply was a big part of the conversation, as well as wanting some local match to make sure that the dollars go further. So they were considering about bringing forward to the full tab about, some smaller match between 5 and 10%, and or no match requirements at all. We also agree that there would be a split between both the actual construction projects and some planning dollars. So I'm just really excited that these are a program that we'll be rolling out very soon, knowing that the legislature may look to maybe looking for ways to take back funds, possibly if they need to. So we're trying to get these dollars out, but also most importantly, demonstrating that there is a need all across our region here for investments like this in our infrastructure. The other one was on the CAP-RW Community Action Partnership of Ramsey, Washington. We approved an operating budget this year, for 26, also knowing that, we are running into challenges with our budget because of some of both the federal cuts, but also some increases in admin costs that have been identified that were needed, but also some having to readjust this past year's work with our building. So the building is, although the board owns it, the CAP-RW owns it, it needs a new roof. So those are challenges that the board is facing that we have charged the ED with, is just figuring out a plan and coming back to the board on that. Yeah.
Wow.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Commissioner Jevonsing?
Yes, it was a busy week. I was able to meet internally and follow up with our Director of Emergency Communications and team members, Nancy, past Natalie Simone and Cher Webb, about the Call for All program that's being initiated. So this is part of an extension of our appropriate response, and then also recognizing that when domestic violence calls come into our ECC, that there is some immediate responses that can help hold the individuals who are on that call, preventing additional traumas involved in those moments while they're waiting for help, and then making sure that there's a handoff to some local resources. And so just wanted to let folks know about that. So the initiative is called Call for All. It brings together local organizations, community members, and the Ramsey County Emergency Communication Center to make sure domestic violence support is available to everyone in our community. And there are a number of community partners that are involved in supporting families who are experiencing domestic violence. So just wanted to share that out. And also to say that our 911 Community Voices Advisory Committee still has some vacancies, and we're looking for broad community support to make sure that these types of initiatives are created and supported with community needs and wants right along in that co-creation of some of these services. So shout out for that. I had a chance to meet with the We Choose Us, the voter rights advocacy group that I think many of you have had a chance to meet with as well. I spent many years as an election judge and as a member of the League of Women Voters. And I think that these types of, this advocacy group is really trying to make sure to support everybody's right to vote and shore up democracy in these really challenging times. So that was a really wonderful, and it filled my bucket a little bit to know that community members are so engaged in making sure that this whole experience of democracy continues going forward. I also had a chance to connect with the East Metro Mental Health Roundtable with Pahua Hoffman from Health Partners and Roger Meyer as well. The East Metro Mental Health Roundtable aims to accelerate improvements in the Twin Cities East Metro mental health system through partnerships that deliver high-quality mental health services. The county has been active in these discussions, but it's important for us to have policymakers, administrators, and content experts at these tables, and so I'm happy to join the ranks of folks who have been doing this really good work. I've also had a chance to be meeting with some of our Ramsey County legislative delegates during their off time, just to check in, to see what they are focusing on, and to touch base and build relationships. I was able to go to the White Bear Lake League of Women Voters annual picnic. And I do want to say, again, a group that in some of the issues that are coming up, they have a fall program series that's going to be at the Maplewood Library, which is open to everyone. September 16th is their civic engagement, Why It Matters for Democracy. On October 20th, they're looking at Are We in a Constitutional Crisis? And very exciting, November 12th, Commissioner Miller and I will be joining two of our counterparts from Washington County in navigating uncertainty, the complex roles of county commissioners. And then also, I do not want to let go. Many of us were able to be at the Hmong American Partnership event in honor of Commissioner Zhang and County Manager Becker. It was just wonderful to see the success of that organization and our colleagues lift it up. And then lastly, a number of us are part of the Burns Institute learning cohort, and I had a chance to join their summer hours along with and get to know a little bit more Jamar Dinkins, who's a juvenile probation officer who's part of the cohort as well, as we were discussing issues around 4 conundrums that face government entities that are doing this work. And we really were focusing on the idea of transforming systems while not letting systems transform you, meaning the idea of it's really hard work to come into systems that you know can do better for your communities without letting it affect you in ways that aren't, positive. So it was wonderful to have those conversations, and I just lift up that work. And also, I've got my Mindy. I just want to say I was at a 5-day wedding extravaganza this weekend. So shout out to the bride and groom, Melissa and Ahmed Patel. All good things to you and your family.
I love it. Thank you so much. Commissioner Miller.
Well, hello, good morning. So I'm going to go back a couple weeks because I was feeling not well last week, so I did not do an update.
You get double time for sure.
So a couple weeks ago, I attended the Minnesota Association of Workforce Boards Conference in Duluth with our Workforce Solutions leadership team. Summer conference where we were with state and local leaders gathered to discuss the future of Minnesota's workforce system. So a few emerging priorities that I want to just highlight is the state dislocated worker program. So Ramsey County received a 46% funding reduction for FY 26. The MOB and local workforce boards are coordinating efforts to advance for increased funding for the October Minnesota Job Skills Partnership meeting. Also, the Governor's Workforce Development Board Task Force. So this is a new task force chaired by Senator Bobby Joe Champion and Representative Dave Pinto, will help shape policy and funding priorities for Minnesota's workforce system. And we do have some of our leadership team participating in that as well. And then I also want to note about the WIOA funding. So the federal funding, or the federal workforce funding, WIOA has steadily decreased by about 10% each year for the past 5 years. I just want to make note of that. And then the federal reauthorization is expected by October 1st. So we're not even technically reauthorized yet. In addition, a key national theme was making it easier for job seekers to access supportive benefits like childcare, food assistance, and healthcare. So Ramsey County is already doing this work, making it our priority with our remodeled and co-located service centers, which helps residents access employment, training, and wraparound services in one space. I also had on my update to congratulate Commissioner Zhang and County Manager Becker. It was great to spend time with you guys. And with that, I am done. Meet you.
Thank you. Thank you, Commissioner Miller. Commissioner Moran.
Well, good morning. I'm going to open up by saying congratulations to County Manager Becker and Commissioner Zong on the recognition from HAP, which is Hmong American Partnership, and for your work and for your leadership and your dedication that you are providing, the families and all here in Ramsey County. So it was a really, really good event, and you two deserve it so much, and probably a little bit more, but congratulations. A few things that I did last week, our joint county and courts committee met, where we have an opportunity to hear from our county judges and the work that they're doing, and what that looked like in collaboration with the work that we're doing here in Ramsey County. So it's good to have these types of meetings, and I really look forward to, as we look at counties and courts and our juvenile systems and in our systems in general, with a possibility of adding maybe our county attorney office and also the sheriff office to be a part of those conversations. I met last week with Joel Carson, who is representing Dr. McGuire, who is the owner of the Allianz Field, to just get an update of what's happening on the corner of University and Snelling, and with that space and his vision for doing this work in partnership with other private developers. But they are currently working and building in practice a hotel. There will be 2 restaurants that they're working on, and looking at including a flower garden in some of that space, which will be a public space. It's a really, really, in my opinion, a great vision. I know there's many people who don't always support private developers and what that looks like in communities. And so, my hope is that there will continue to be conversations with the community on what can be, what the community vision could be, and how it can be more inclusive and with the community. But right now it's an eyesore, so I think anything that we can do to build up and develop that property, that area would be great. My question would be, what would that be for our tax base? That's what I'm concerned about. How can that benefit us in the work that we need to do here in Ramsey County for the residents of Ramsey County? So more to come on that. I'm also a part of the Minnesota African American Family Preservation Child Welfare Disproportionate Act, which is a new law within our child welfare system, moving from reasonable effort to active effort. I'm also part of a subcommittee, the Data Action Team. So we met last week to look at what type of data that we need to be looking at to make decisions around how we can, or how counties across the state can improve. Maybe improve is not maybe the right word, but we can improve the child welfare system. But how we can best utilize this word active effort, and what that looks like for many of the counties across the state. I think that has been one of the more contentious pieces to the act, is utilizing and coming forth with what that means, the word active effort. And I'm going to piggyback on that with a meeting that I had with Kristen Anderson, who's the executive director of ASPR, which is a part of QPI, Quality Parenting Initiative. And it was really good to check back in with her around the work that they're doing. A lot of that is around out-of-home placement, foster care, but it's also around parent and family support. I know the Native American community has really good relationship within QPI and the work that they're doing. I will be attending the QPI conference in San Diego coming up in October. And one of the reasons why I wanted to attend the conference is around this word active effort, because it's really important that counties who feel burdened around what it means to actually include parents in the planning for themselves and their family and what that could look like, and to make a really an active effort if you need to find additional resources, make additional to have additional partners from diverse communities, recognizing that cultural matters. And so what could that look like? QPI is doing some really awesome work there. The conference that is coming up, come on phone, be nice to me. The conference is going to focus on vision-based child welfare, elevating voices and building collaborative parenting communities. And so I look forward to attending this conference from folks from around the country who come together to bring best practice forward, to bring their leadership forward, to look at a conference that's going to focus on transforming the child welfare through shared leadership and collaboration. So it says true change happens when youth, parent, caregivers, professionals, and communities unite around a vision of love, connection, and healing. Grounded in research on stakeholders' engagement, this event will highlight the power of elevating the voices, building partnership, and shifting to relationship-centered practice. Something that I believe is really, really important as we move forward. And lastly, I attended a JK Movement Back to School event at Jimmy Lee Rec Center here in St. Paul off of Lexington. It was a really beautiful day. There were so many parents and children and vendors out. My part was to volunteer, just to show up and volunteer wherever I was needed or they wanted me to volunteer. But it was a great way to see the events, eat good food, and make really good connections. So what a great way to do that. And I just want to say I ended yesterday. My sister passed a week ago Monday. And we were able to, she lived in Texas. I was there a couple of weeks ago. She did not want a funeral. And so we wanted to do something to recognize her. So we did a balloon release yesterday. So we did it, and folks from Texas to Chicago to Minnesota to California to Florida was present. And we did it by Zoom so we can all check in with each other and see the releases of balloons from across the country. It was really, really a good way for me to have some sense of closure for her, who was just a beautiful woman, beautiful spirit, who moved to Texas 11 years ago, and 5 years in, she was celebrating her birthday, and the mayor of the city showed up to speak on her behalf. The fire department showed up yesterday to recognize her. And so it was just a really good way to bring some closure, say bye, and hear some really awesome good things about her. And I will end there.
Wow. Thank you for sharing that, Commissioner Moran, and our thoughts and prayers go out to you and your family, and what a beautiful recognition of her to do the balloon release on Zoom. Wow. Thank you for that. And for the chair's report, I just want to add my congratulations to County Manager Becker and Commissioner Jean for receiving the award from the Hmong American Partnership. I feel as though we should be doing a board recognition, like we should be having you up here for that. But thank you so much. You are amazing contributors to our community, and amazing, of course, members of this county board and county, and we just appreciate your work so much. So thank you very much for all your work, and very well deserved and recognized honor. So thank you. And I want to thank Commissioner Moran for her leadership on the County Court Committee that you chair, and that met last week, and I want to give a shout out to Elijah Norris Holiday, who gave the presentation. He's been doing a lot of those lately, and for everyone to hear the great work that's being done on our youth justice transformation. Also, it was the start of the Minnesota State Fair in Ramsey County, and so I know that many of people have already been there, and it's already going really, really well. And I met with members of the State Fair Board last night at our Rotary meeting at the fair, and we were able to hear from some of the State Fair staff talking about the amazing work that's being done by everybody. So thank you for thanks to the Minnesota State Fair and everyone who's making it such a great event in our county. Also, the Association of Minnesota Counties had their strategic planning retreat last week, and it's where we come together as a board, as an association board, to really affirm and renew our values and our goals for the coming year. And it's always a great event where we bring our AMC values to life. We talked about ethical leadership from the inside out and set up strategy for the coming year. So a great meeting we had down in Dakota County, where our president, Mike Slavik, is from. So that was wonderful. And then coming up tonight, I'll be just introducing, but our Commissioner Zhang is going to be presenting the HRA levy update to St. Anthony Village. So thank you so much for coming out to the district, out to the community. And I know this is maybe your last meeting because you've been doing all of the city meetings, and thank you so much for that. And if it's not last, it's one of the end. But thank you for doing all of that great work. And also on Thursday, the Recycling and Energy Board will be meeting. Commissioner Miller and I and Commissioner Ortega sit on that board, and we'll be moving forward with all of our great recycling and energy efforts. Let's see if we have, oh yes, and this Thursday night, there's a County Road C open house at the Roseville Oval Skate Park from 5 to 7. This is Ramsey County in collaboration with the cities of Roseville and Little Canada is working to redesign County Road C between Lexington Avenue and Little Canada Road. So this will be an open house. Please, everyone, come to view the final concept design for the corridor. So we appreciate all the work being done by our great Public Works Department. Thank you for that. And so with that, following this board meeting, we are going to have a Regional Rail Authority meeting. And then after that, we will have a closed meeting on the Purdue, do we say what it's about? Purdue opioid settlement. And then the afternoon workshop is on community indicators, and that will be chaired by Commissioner Zhang. And so with that, is there any further business before this board? Anyone have anything else? Hearing none, with that, I will adjourn this board meeting. And